Hey folks, Jim from Slick Audio. Chris just said something to me, and it just made me laugh, and I was gonna freaking say something, and you know. So there was this monkey at this bar. No, it wasn't that kind of a joke. I forgot a joke. Well, it's a freaking story, anyways. So Wayne Davis, a very very close friend of mine, and great guy, owns a studio in South Jersey. And actually was first bass player that I ever worked with in any band. My God, we were kids. We weren't even driving yet. So I don't know, 12 years old, 13, 14 years old, somewhere there. I don't know. But anyway, so Wayne said you really should do a segment on controllers, meaning faders and all that kind of fun stuff. And so I should probably, well, Wayne, here's your controller segment, if you will. So let's answer the question: what is a controller first? This is that hotel commercial. La Quinta. Okay, I'm done now. A mixing console is back in the analog days. So let's rewind the slate here. This is going to take some of you old dogs back a little bit. So the young pups, you won't have a freaking clue what I'm talking about. Maybe not. So bottom line is, you've all seen mixers with faders on them, and you use the fader to adjust what volume, right? Or attenuation. Is the proper word to use, because you're actually starting 0 dB is maximum volume, and then you're reducing from there. So now understanding those, that little stupid point that I made, but it is a pretty critical point, and I'll explain why later on in the segment. I feel like mini me. God bless his soul. Good man. Drunk, but a good man. Hey, whatever. So a controller is basically nothing but a bunch of those faders. Right? It has no input output. There's no, I don't want to say intelligence to it. There's obviously intelligence to it, but there's no I/O. So in other words, it's not routing audio in any way, shape, or form. It's simply controlling your DAW, your digital audio workstation, the software, the software, the laser beam. So the whole point of a controller is to kind of give you that old-fashioned mixer tactile feel, where normally, if you didn't have that, you'd be using a mouse to click and make the little slider, the fake fader on the screen, go up and down. So, why the heck do you need one? No, absolutely not. Answering that flat out, you do not need one. You absolutely can use a mouse and do everything that you need to do and function. Now, again, back to the old dog theory. Us old dogs are used to having faders, touching faders. I gotta touch a fader, because that's what people say. And quite honestly, I'm just as bad as I'm staring over an entire frickin' desk of faders, a bazillion of them. And geez, how many do I even have over there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 48 faders over there, so that's pretty bad, eh? So the point I'm trying to make is for some people, they want a tactile feel. They want to touch a fader and be able to move it. All right, so that's a controller. So when I say controller, that's what I'm referring to. So, and these things do a lot more than that. They have transport controls. What I'm meaning for that means like your stop, play, rewind, a jog shuttle dial. How to get you on that one? All right, a little dial that actually can make this, make the sound, the cursor go one way or another. And you could do scrubbing, which means you could hear the audio when you're doing that and make it go, real slow in either direction. Some pretty cool stuff. It's not meant to be cool. The whole idea is if you're looking for a specific piece of music or piece of a note within the song, you can easily do that. Okay, so enough about how they work right now, because I believe I have shown you all. The question that Wayne had, I'm putting my glasses back on so I can freaking see, he is making the point of the accuracy of the faders. They are not all created equal, and that is for damn sure. The question is, what do you need? Now, Wayne, I'm actually gonna steal this right from you since you gave me some of the information, and I agree with it. There's no point in me rewriting it in my head now. I might as well just regurgitate some of the stuff that I'm reading here. So, Mr. Wayne had chose, I believe, an Avid Artist mix. It was, I believe he said there's lots of choices below $999. Avid Artist mix. I think it's also was called the only choice before. I'd have to go with the SSL Nucleus. SSL Nucleus is a decent one. But there's the point he's trying to make is there was actually the Faderport 8 with Studio One. It has got 1,024 steps. In other words, the fader has 1,000. So in the 10mm fader is 1,024 unique individual steps. Look, I can't tear that up because to me 1,024 steps for the average user, the average person doing a mix down, absolutely more than enough. I would be content with that, even doing what I do. But he had mentioned about the 8 only doing 128 steps. So without Studio One, it only does 128 steps because it would be in probably Huey mode. Well, actually, that all depends on what you're using because Huey is a Pro Tools only thing, and it's actually a Pro Tools problem, in my opinion, because if you run into their native mode, which is really Mackie control mode, it's 1,024. So, and I know that for facts. I just did a Faderport 16 for a professional studio, and it worked phenomenal. But yes, I hear what you're saying. Again, Pro Tools, remember, they're 20 years behind everybody else. So you got to understand that in itself. So maybe you got the wrong DAW. So understand, sorry, I was trying to look at the screen a little bit more. So anyways, as he said, his 2 cents for the future segment. So Wayne, it's an excellent point. I agree with you in many ways. If you're going to run only 128 steps, running, a Faderport, for example, I don't want to bust on Personas because I really like them. They're a great company and great people. But if you're trying to run it in Huey mode and Huey mode, on Pro Tools, you might as well use your mouse, man, because you're pissing out the wind. It's just terrible. It's terrible. 1,024 steps, I think that's sufficient, and there are ones that do a lot finer and a lot better than that. You're going to pay for them. I have a Mackie Control Pro over there with the extenders, Mackie extenders, and that's running Mackie Control. Obviously, it's a Mackie. It's awesome. It does the job great. 1,024 steps in 10 mils is pretty damn accurate. It's not a million, but it's close enough for for the work that most of us are doing. So that being the case, obviously you want to keep that fader as accurate as possible. So 128, Wayne, I agree with you. That's trash. Throw it the hell out. Find a different solution. I would actually find a different DAW, and other than the PT thing. My 2 cents. But if you got to stick with Pro Tools, then I think you should find an SSL Nucleus or, actually Pro Tools. Avid bought out a company called Euphonics. This is another Avid classic. So, Euphonics, great company. Used to work with pretty much everybody. Actually, they still do. But they really kind of sunk their teeth into Nuendo for the first time. I remember seeing my first Euphonics board, and it was, oh my God, $100-some thousand. And Greg Ondo at Steinberg was working this thing, and I just was like, holy hell, this thing's freaking gorgeous. And 2 years later, Avid bought them out, basically shut that whole thing down, and then they came out with 2 crap little boards. They're not crap, they're good, but they're just lacking functionality for the price. Mild understatement. And then they have their huge board, which they've always had, and it's still not $1 million, but it's a lot of money. They're awesome. So from Pro Tools standpoint, and the cool thing about those boards is, at least 2 out of the 3, you can use them with any DAW out there, and guess what they work on? The Mackie Control Protocol. Oh, my God, go figure. And guess what they do work on inside of Pro Tools? Huey. They call it native. It is native, but it's still running technically Huey. But in any event, there's a situation where you kind of get what you pay for. Great faders, super quality, but you're going to pay big dollars. The question is do you really want to pay that much money, into a controller versus, maybe needing that money in a new set of monitors or a new DAW? Sorry, I had to get that in again. I'm just, you have to question it, because technically you can use the freaking mouse. So, but this could be a bone of contention or a point of contention, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to comment on this one, and have a time. You know me, I don't give a shit. You want to freaking call me an idiot or a liar, have a time. I could care less. I'm not lying. I'm giving you my opinion. That's the whole point of these videos, a professional's opinion on what's going on. So, in my opinion, 1,024 steps, I think that's perfectly good for 99% of the people out there that need a control surface. If you have the money that you can float something like the Euphonics, the now Avid branded, it's a Euphonics. They're still in existence. And, or something similar to it that would be high resolution, then absolutely, do it. You're just going to spend big money on it. So as long as you're willing to do that, then, cool, you got it great. Because at that point, to me, do Nuage. If you're gonna spend the kind of money on that monster system and put money into a Euphonics or an Avid product of that price tag, just get Yamaha's Nuage, which is Nuendo and its own Yamaha's own control surface, if you will, and I/O and the whole 9 yards. It's amazing. It's freaking out of this world amazing. It's big money, but you get what you pay for. You want absolute perfection, perfect integration, works with anything, unlimited tracks, unlike PT, et cetera, et cetera. Just that is simply by far the way to go. That's my 2 cents on it. So I'm sure I'm going to be hearing from somebody on that, some comments, and I would love to hear some comments. If there's controllers you'd like to share with people that you think are worthy of mentioning, or worthy of not mentioning, put it out there so people can at least read, and after they see the video, and I'll just make the disclaimer now, look down below, and those comments are not necessarily those of the opinion of the house, us. So, but that doesn't mean they're not valid. Take it for what it's worth. I at least gave you the 1,000-foot overview of what I think controllers should do, at a minimum resolution of 1,024 steps, and anything lower than that, probably shouldn't do it. But from that point up, you're good. Check it out. If you have any questions, you can always give us a call after you buy your computer from us. Check us out. Chris back there smiling. I always try to get him. So you wonder why half these stupid ass jokes come out of my mouth, right? I'm trying to get him to fucking laugh. And sometimes I do, but it's like, it's getting harder and harder. So, but I'm trying. He's getting tired of me, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, 570-371-5800, option 2 for Slick Audio, and option 1 for sales. HTTPS, seriously, www.slick.audio. You can email us at sales@slick.audio, and my God, if you go to our website and go over to the store, you can chat, and even if we're not in the office, if you chat, it will actually shoot an email off to us all, and we'll answer you. We many times, even though our hours are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I do believe it is Yeah, it's 5:20 right now, guys, and we're still doing video. I mean, if you chat, we're going to answer you. And I mean, we're retarded. We don't know how to. We don't know how to freaking. I was going to make a comment. I can't do it. I can't do it. Jim, stop it. You're killing. All right, it's getting silly. I feel like I need a beer. That's a good idea. So, we will answer your questions. Email us. If it's on a weekend, I don't care. Chances are you'll hear back from one of us. And we'll be glad to help you out. You need a machine, we're the guys to come to. We'll be glad to help. Give us a shout. Talk to you in a bit, man. Be good.